Yes, student, we were discussing about the reducing end and non-reducing end of the glycogen. So that reducing end where the where number of number of monomers can be added, can be attached, can form the bond there. But at the non-reducing end, there is no bond formation takes place. So starch forms helical secondary structure. Starch can hold iodine molecules in the helical portion. Due to the helical secondary structure of starch, they can hold the iodine molecule in their helical portion. But cellulose does not have a helices. That's why they cannot hold the iodine, right? You got the difference between starch and cellulose. Starch has a helical structure, that's why helical secondary structure, that's why they can hold the iodine in their helices. But in cellulose there is no helical structure, secondary structure, that's why it cannot hold iodine, right? Plant cell walls are made up of cellulose. Cotton fiber is cellulose. This is the example actually. So there are more complex polysaccharides in nature. They have building blocks, amino sugars and chemically modified sugars like glucosamine, galactosamine, etc. Right? Hope you are getting this line. Exoskeleton of arthropod. Arthropod means cockroaches or insects phylum, right? For example, they have a polysaccharide called chitin. Chitin is present in the arthropods, right? So these are called as heteropolymers. Question can be asked that give the example of a heteropolymer. So homopolymer ka example you can say like cellulose is a homopolymer. But if the question will ask that give the example of heteropolymer, then you will say chitin is example of heteropolymer. Clear? So let's see the nucleic acid. As you know, nucleic acids are the building blocks. For the nucleic acid building block is a nucleotide, and nucleotide has three chemically distinct components. One is a heterocyclic compound, the second is a monosaccharide, and the third of the phosphoric acid or phosphate, right? So firstly we will see, sorry, here I am telling you about the nucleotide classification, that is purines and pyrimidines. There are two type of nucleotide. There are two type of nitrogenous bases actually. So these nitrogenous bases, this is not a type of nucleotide. This is type of nitrogenous base. Clear? One is purine and other one is pyrimidine. Purine is of two type, adenine and guanine. Pyrimidine is of three types, cytosine, uracil and thymine. Uracil and thymine, we will see that uracil is present in place of thymine in case of RNA, right? So you can say in RNA uracil is present and in DNA thymine is present, right? So purine is 2 carbon nitrogen ring bases and pyrimidines are 1 carbon nitrogen ring bases. Clear? So let's see the structure of protein. Here there are three structure according to the complexity. Primary structure simple, it's a polypeptide chain with the peptide bond. Then secondary structure you can say alpha helices and beta sheets are there, and in the tertiary structure these alpha helices and beta sheets are bind together, and in quaternary structure now this becomes the active protein. Clear? Quaternary structure is the active protein. Okay. So nature of bond linking monomer in a polymer is, so in protein amino acids are linked by a peptide bond. You should know about these bond here only. I have given you information about that protein is in protein amino acids are linked by peptide bond. Uh, how these peptide bonds are formed: when the carboxylic group of one amino acid reacts with the amino group of the next amino acid with the elimination of water quality, the process is called dehydration. So as you know, if elimination of water takes place, that reaction will be called as dehydration, right? So here one water will be released or eliminated, and this peptide bond will be formed here, right? So in case of polysaccharide or you can say carbohydrate, monosaccharides are linked by a glycosidic bond. Remember it, student. In case of protein, peptide bonds are there. In case of carbohydrate, glycosidic bonds are there. This is also formed by the dehydration only. Clear? So in a nucleic acid, the bond between the phosphate and hydroxyl group of sugar is an ester bond. This is also called phosphodiester bond. If question will be asked that which bond is present in case of nucleic acid, then your answer should be phosphodiester bond, which is present between the phosphate and hydroxyl group of sugar. Clear? So let's see the Watson and Crick model here. Watson and Crick model was given by the James Watson and Crick. And this is the model of DNA actually. Here the structure of DNA is explained by this model. So according to this model, DNA exists as a double helix. The two strand of polynucleotides are anti-parallel. Anti-parallel means they are opposite, they are present in the opposite direction. Now the backbone is formed by the sugar phosphate sugar chain. The nitrogenous bases are projected more or less perpendicular to this backbone, but face inside, I will tell you, A and G means adenine and guanine, right? Adenine and guanine of one strand compulsorily base pair with thymine and cytosine. We are talking about the DNA here, that's why we are saying thymine and cytosine, right? Respectively, on the other strand, there are two hydrogen bonds between A and T. There are three hydrogen bonds present between G and C. A means A means adenine, T means thymine, G means guanine, and C means cytosine. Clear? Each strand appears like a helical staircase. Each step of ascent is represented by a pair of bases. At each step of ascent, the strand turns 36 degrees. One full turn of the helical strand would involve 10 steps of 10 base pairs, right? The pitch would be 34 angstrom. The rise per base pair would be 3.4 angstrom. This form of DNA with the above mentioned is called the bDNA. Which type of DNA is explaining here? That is the bDNA. There are different type of DNA, aDNA, bDNA, zDNA. So we are talking about here the bDNA, right? So this is the helical structure of DNA. You can see these A, T, G, C, adenine, thymine, these face inside, right? Inside the uh, helix, right? If you will see like this, I'm talking about that they are anti-parallel to each other. See, this is 5 prime to 3 prime direction. This helix is 5 prime to 3 prime, and the opposite is the 3 prime to 5 prime, right? So they are. That's why we are saying these are the anti-parallel direction are there, right? This is called major groove. This is called minor groove. They are the nitrogenous bases A, T, G, C, etc. And this backbone is the sugar phosphate backbone. Clear? Thank you, student. This is now finished. So hope you all are getting this. If you have any doubt, please ask me. Thank you, students.